Guide. Influencing policy decisions. Understanding lobbying. Introduction. Lobbying is a fundamental aspect of the political process, where individuals, organizations, or interest groups seek to influence government decisions and policies. Lobbying involves advocating for specific interests, promoting legislative or regulatory changes, and shaping public policy outcomes. In this guide, we'll explore the concept of lobbying, its role in the democratic process, and strategies for effectively influencing policy decisions. Understanding lobbying. Lobbying refers to the activities undertaken by individuals, organizations, or advocacy groups to influence government officials, policymakers, or legislators on specific issues or policies. Lobbyists often represent diverse interests, including businesses, trade associations, nonprofit organizations, labor unions, and professional groups. Lobbying can take various forms, such as direct communication with policymakers, grassroots mobilization, campaign contributions, and public relations efforts. Key components of lobbying. Policy advocacy. Lobbyists advocate for specific policy positions, legislative proposals, or regulatory changes that align with their interests or objectives. Relationship building. Lobbyists cultivate relationships with government officials, policymakers, and legislators to gain access, build rapport, and effectively communicate their messages. Informational campaigns. Lobbyists provide policymakers with research, data, and analysis to support their policy positions and educate them on relevant issues. Coalition building. Lobbyists collaborate with like-minded organizations, stakeholders, or allies to amplify their voices, mobilize support, and achieve common policy goals. Strategic communication. Lobbyists employ various communication tactics, including meetings, briefings, testimony, media outreach, and social media campaigns, to influence public opinion and shape policy debates. Issue framing. Lobbyists frame issues in ways that resonate with policymakers and the public, emphasizing the importance of their positions and the potential impact of proposed policies. Negotiation and compromise. Lobbyists engage in negotiations and seek compromises to advance their policy objectives and address concerns raised by policymakers or stakeholders. Regulatory engagement. Lobbyists engage with regulatory agencies to provide input on proposed regulations, advocate for changes, and ensure compliance with existing laws. Strategies for influencing policy decisions. Identify policy priorities. Identify specific policy issues or legislative proposals that align with your interests or objectives and prioritize your lobbying efforts accordingly. Build relationships. Cultivate relationships with elected officials, government staff, and key decision-makers through regular communication, meetings, and engagement opportunities. Provide expertise. Offer policymakers research, analysis, and expertise on relevant issues to inform their decision-making and support your policy recommendations. Mobilize support. Mobilize grassroots supporters, stakeholders, and allies to advocate for your policy positions, generate public pressure, and demonstrate broad-based support. Engage in advocacy campaigns. Launch advocacy campaigns, letter writing campaigns, petitions, or rallies to raise awareness, mobilize supporters, and influence public opinion. Utilize media and communications. Leverage media outreach, op-eds, press releases, and social media platforms to amplify your message, shape media coverage, and engage the public. Participate in public hearings. Participate in public hearings, legislative hearings, or regulatory proceedings to provide testimony, voice your concerns, and advocate for your policy priorities. Form coalitions. Form coalitions or partnerships with other organizations, stakeholders, or advocacy groups to pool resources, share expertise, and amplify your collective voice. Monitor legislation and regulations. Stay informed about legislative developments, regulatory proposals, and policy debates to identify opportunities for engagement and advocacy. Adapt and persist. Be flexible and adaptable in your lobbying strategies, respond to changing political dynamics, and persist in your advocacy efforts over the long term. Ethical considerations in lobbying. Transparency. Disclose your lobbying activities, interests, and financial contributions to promote transparency and accountability. Integrity. Conduct lobbying activities with honesty, integrity, and respect for democratic principles and ethical standards. Avoid conflicts of interest. Avoid conflicts of interest and ensure that lobbying efforts are in the public interest and not driven by personal gain or self-interest. Compliance. Adhere to legal and regulatory requirements governing lobbying activities, including registration, reporting, and disclosure obligations. Conclusion. Lobbying plays a significant role in shaping public policy and influencing government decisions on a wide range of issues. By understanding the key components of lobbying, employing effective advocacy strategies, and adhering to ethical standards, individuals, organizations, and advocacy groups can effectively engage in the political process, advance their policy priorities, and contribute to meaningful policy change. Whether advocating for legislative reforms, regulatory changes, or public investments, lobbying offers a vital mechanism for democratic participation and civic engagement in the policymaking process.